Hello everyone, this is Crota giving you a shoutcast between Lucifron and DeMuslim here on Blistering Sands. Lucifron spawning as the yellow Protoss, meanwhile DeMuslim also spawning as the purple Protoss here on Blistering Sands. Lucifron spawning over here at the 2 o'clock position, and now finally DeMuslim MYM DeMuslim spawning over here at the 8 o'clock position. Now I'm not sure if they chose these races or if they just decided to play random and got Protoss versus Protoss in this particular matchup. Blizzard, if you guys could possibly make it so that we know what the race was at the time of selection, that way we know if it's a random Terran as opposed to a straight up Terran, that would be nice, and it would help us shoutcasters out there to try to figure out what exactly the strategies are when we go ahead and replay these games. If there's a little bit of a different opening, Lucifron finished getting this pylon in at exactly the same time DeMuslim as well, so both players getting those pylons, nothing too out of the ordinary. Also both players going for a little bit more of an economic build, using that chrono boost on those nexuses in order to speed up probe production. There we have another chrono boost coming off, so it looks as though both players going for a very heavy build on and trying to get that economy up and running. Now we had DeMuslim quickly checking to see if there's some sort of proxy pylon, proxy gateway being set up in order to try to push out. Both of the probes will pass each other, and now DeMuslim also doing another quick check on that back door in order to make sure that there is no units there. Gonna go ahead and activate that Zelnaga watchtower before heading back down and continuing on its way to do a little bit more scouting. Back over here we now have Lucifron with the single probe running around inside of the base, doing a little bit of scouting. Pylon down, assimilator being warped in, both gateways not yet finished warped in, and Lucifron with this early gas is indicating more of a cybernetics core build. Now Protoss versus Protoss Mirror matches are very fragile in that all it takes is one good force field or one misplaced group of units, and then one Protoss army will simply be able to just run through another army. Probes now once again moving around on the inside of this base. Second assimilator now down, so two assimilators being placed down by both sides. Cybernetics core being placed down by DeMuslim, and meanwhile we should also have another cybernetics core being placed down by Lucifron as well. So both players opening up a single gateway into a cybernetics core. Lucifron, Lucifron does not have three probes on this gas, so he may be not 100% sure why. It could be a little bit more of a balancing issue. Perhaps he just wanted to drop down that assimilator, or it could be that he doesn't know that he's missing a single probe on gas there. Now, comparing the harvesting, it is 224 gas per every 60 units a time compared to 192, so DeMuslim is trying to get the maximum gas out of those buildings. Two more gateways now being placed down. So the double gateway now being placed down, and it still looks like Lucifron doesn't know that he only has two probes on that gas. Another gateway being placed down there. Lucifron should have some sort of harvesting or mineral advantage, so there's a slight mineral advantage for Lucifron as he has one or two additional probes on gas. Now a sentry comes in and makes it just quickly takes down that last probe that was scouting the inside of that base. Warp gate research nearing completion, and now going into a 5-gate opening. So very heavy, very macro intensive opening. Meanwhile Lucifron also going for maximum gateways as well. So gateways being produced all over the place. Lucifron, however, does not have nearly as many production buildings as DeMuslim. DeMuslim, however, has a smaller army, only a single sentry. So that single sentry or two sentries going to be used to try to block down that lower ground. And now 4 warp gates already being upgraded. A 5th gateway already will be upgraded in just a moment. And now in comes this army. So quickly grabbing up as many sentries as they can, and now we may see a switch from sentries to stalkers or sentries to zealots, depending on how this build works. I like this build as for essentially for 150 minerals and 100 gas, a Protoss player can have 4 food worth of units. Between the zealots, between Zealots and Sentries. So yeah, DeMuslim's continuing to warp in more Zealots. So it's going to be a very strong army. If you take a look at the army size or the unit combination, it's 7 Sentries and 4 Zealots against 2 Sentries, 5 Stalkers, and 1 Zealot. Those Sentries are going to be stronger, and now a proxy pylon being placed down by DeMuslim. Perhaps this probe will continue to move out with the rest of that army. Lucifron now moving out, able to catch this and catch him off guard. Is this going to work? Nice force fields being placed down, trying to push back this whole entire attack. Stalker and Pylon coming in as well, and now in comes that force field. So some of those Stalkers, it's completely surrounding those Stalkers, so those Stalkers are unable to really engage. Mass Sentries against this whole entire army, splitting up this army. And wow, Lucifron is going to lose this game as there's just too many Sentries for him to deal with. One of those Stalkers already down to 59 hit points, and now this army size of DeMuslim sitting at 1150 versus Lucifron 675. Even though it's only a double in size, the food-wise, it is a 7 units totaled versus 18. But however, now we have Zealots coming in from Lucifron. Lucifron coming in with these 4 Zealots and that single Stalker may be able to do a little bit of a push onto the main base. DeMuslim really needs to get some more Sentries into his base, try to warp in some additional units, perhaps get a force field on that front door. Yeah, force field on that front door, but you really need some more pylons. Currently supply locked, and that's really going to be the issue as Zealots and Sentries now moving on out. However, Lucifron decided to try to come through this back door as well, and that is not going to really work, as he was not able to see onto that high ground, did not know that DeMuslim only had a single unit there, and now DeMuslim focusing down this Nexus. Nexus already down to 500 hit points, getting taken down, and probes trying to do their damage. Nexus now gone. The destructible rocks over here down to 400 hit points. There was a proxy, there is a proxy pylon sitting over here by Lucifron that's been having all the reinforcements, but things not looking good. Massive probe and a Sentry army now moving out. Last probe getting taken down, and now it's going to be just a mean base race between these two armies. DeMuslim not chrono boosting his buildings in order to reduce the cooldown. He just needs more more pylons in order to be able to warp in more units. He's currently supply locked. Probes coming in, joining in on this fight. Units now moving out. DeMuslim sitting at 50 minerals, trying to cancel some of those buildings. Really should be canceling some of these, trying to salvage an additional 50 minerals, and both players now unable to harvest any additional units, or harvest any additional minerals. Probes now moving out, and wow, this is what a weird change of events. This is not like Warcraft 3 where you can sell some items or try to do some creeping, and in comes some force field. Both players, nice force field once again. Stalkers unable to really engage anywhere. Zealots unable to run, and this mass Sentry army, a dozen Sentries, continuing to fight, separating this army, and that is going to be GG. Lucifron calls GG, and DeMuslim takes this game here on Blistering Sands. Thanks for watching, thanks for listening, I hope you guys enjoyed it.